A very good morning to you and welcome to Prime Media Studios. My name is Moses and welcome to the newspaper review for the 11th of July 2023. First, we'll begin with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The top story that says corruption's ugliest face was under Buhari, says Kuka. Corruption's ugliest face was under Buhari, says Kuka. He's a bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Hassan Kuka, says corruption under Buhari's administration was the ugliest face ever that it has been. That was said by Kuka. Now, on the top left of Vanguard, it shows alleged abuse of office. Court fixes October 17th for case against Malami. For case against Malami. Alleged abuse of office. Court fixes case against Malami. Now, the top bottom of that is on presidential poll. APC already preparing for a run. APC already preparing for a run. Let us see what happens. The news following that is that Flutter Waves takes center stage at Nigeria Bar Association 17th Annual Business Law Conference. 17th Annual Business Law Conference. Tinubu will promote economic growth, trans-border security in ECOWAS, says Ajulo. Tinubu will promote economic growth, trans-border security in ECOWAS. Now let's go back to alleged abuse of office. Court fixes October 17th for case against Malami. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory yesterday deferred hearing on a case instituted against the immediate past Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for alleged abuse in his office. Recall that he was accused of allegedly abusing his office. Justice Oluyemisi Adelaja adjourned the case for definite hearing, even as he directed the service of all the necessary court papers on the ex-AGF Malami SAN to enable him to enter his defense in the matter. If you want to read more on all of those headlines, you could visit Vanguard online outlet and their physical outlet anywhere around you. Now let's move on to Punch this morning. Punch this morning, they sent the top story there says fuel smuggling persists in borders despite subsidy removal. Customs boats. Yesterday they intercepted a very, very, very huge ship taking I think 800,000 barrels of crude oil. So they intercepted it, and he said despite the subsidy removal, there's still fuel smuggling around the borders. We thank the customs boss, and we just want to give you kudos and tell you to work more on your inspection and also carry out activities on the borders to ensure that our oils are not smuggled away. So despite their job, there's still oil smuggling, but we pray that they'll find a solution, lasting solution to it very soon. On the latest news on Punch, it says Aburo Aboye, purely Yoruba language, not for Ifa priests. Tokwe Alabi, the music minister, Tokwe Alabi, says, she used the word Aburo Aboye in her administration, and then Ifa priests called and said she's actually trying to be one of them because she used their word Aburo Aboye. Now, Tokwe Alabi is coming out to say that Aburo Aboye is strongly Yoruba word. If you know Yoruba, if you understand Yoruba, if you're from the Konk Yoruba, that is a Yoruba word. That is what Tokwe Alabi is saying. It is not related to Ifa, although Ifa priests, Ifa worshippers uses it, but it is actually not for Ifa. It is a strong Yoruba word. That's what Tope Alabi is saying. Now, on election petition, APC already planning for rerun, as we saw that in Vanguard, on Vanguard newspaper this morning. We are also seeing it in Punch headlines. It says APC is actually planning for election rerun. Let us see how that goes. Following that news, they Adebutu, others arraigned for alleged vote buying. Adebutu and others arraigned for alleged vote buying. Recall in the last just concluded election in February, they were accused of vote buying. So right now they have been alleged and they have been arraigned rather around the court, and then they are going to face judgment. If they are found guilty, they will face the judgment. If they are not found guilty, they will be discharged and acquitted, of course. But let's see what the court holds, what the judgment would be like. News following that, Lagos records 1,642 fire outbreaks in 6 months. Lagos records 1,642 fire outbreaks in 6 months. You know, people should be more careful on the way they do things around their houses, around their offices, around their warehouses, and the rest, because it is really, really alarming. A whole 1,642 outbreaks in just 6 months, and you know we do not have enough firefighters to calm the situation down. So please, citizens, dear citizens of our great Nigeria, and dear indigenes of Lagos State, and dear inhabitants of Lagos State, let us do well to please carry out precautionary measures, and let us understand that we need to put off our appliances before we go out. We need to shut down every electric appliances when we go out. We need to have fire extinguishers around our houses and around our offices to avoid fire outbreaks. Please, please, and please stay safe and be very careful. News following that also, it says students no longer believe they can pass without cheating. Luth psychologist. Students no longer believe they can pass without cheating, says Luth psychologist. The news following all of that, Lagos airport runway light stolen, 7 suspended. I need to laugh. I need to laugh about that. You understand? Lagos airport runway lights stolen. We have securities. We have security personnel. We have workers. How then do we allow this thing to happen? Runway lights stolen. This is ridiculous. What are the security personnel doing? We can't allow this to happen, because that could cause a major accident on the runway. Planes could be coming and landing, and you know those lights guides this plane on landing. Please, let's be more careful. Let's be vigilant. Security personnel around the airport, let's be vigilant, because it's not funny anymore. Please. EcoBank asked FBN to reject Otudeko's share acquisition. EcoBank asked FBN to reject Otudeko's share acquisition. Beneath that, you could find it's illegal for National Assembly to fix members' pay. It's illegal for National Assembly to fix members' pay. Obasanjo, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president rather of our great country Nigeria, says that it is really, really illegal for National Assembly to fix members' pay. It is illegal. Let us learn from our past presidents. Let us learn from our past governments. Let us learn from our past leaders and heed to their advice, so that we don't run into a pothole that we cannot get off from or we cannot recover. Please, let's be very careful. Tinubu can't appoint everybody. Minister Adamu tells APC chairman. He says Tinubu cannot appoint everybody. Yes, of course, he cannot appoint everybody. Let me tell you how this works. He's supposed to appoint people he knows he will be able to work with. One, people who are competent enough to run for office. We do not need people who are just figureheads there who cannot work. When you know that this is a doctor, let a doctor take that post of health. Let a transport expert take that office of transportation, infrastructure. Let us do it like that with proven experiences, with proven examples, proven results. Let's not just appoint people by appointment's sake. And I need to sound it as a warning to everyone. Tinubu cannot appoint everybody. He needs to be careful on that. So please, let's not pressure him. He will take time to appoint his cabinet. Let him take the time. Let's not pressure him. Please. Now let's move on. I didn't close Aso Rock Chapel, says First Lady. I didn't close Aso Rock Chapel, says First Lady. Our First Lady has come out because she has been accused of closing Aso Rock Chapel. So she has come out and is saying now that she did not close Aso Rock Chapel. Please, the news we are carrying up and down, let us confirm, let us reaffirm before we put it out there. Let's not just give news and because we want to trend or for what? Let us verify news before we carry it out. How would you say the First Lady, closed the chapel of Aso Rock, and now she's coming to say she's debunking the rumor that I didn't close Aso Rock Chapel? Nobody should say that. Please, let's verify news. Let's move on to the Nation. The Nation says, the top news says, 800,000 liters vessel with stolen crude oil intercepted. 800,000 vessels. What? 800,000. What are we? This is ridiculous. We're actually going to read on that. We're actually going to take the big news on that. 800,000 vessel with stolen crude oil intercepted. Man, despite the removal of fuel subsidy, people are still stealing oil. Now, it says that the battle against oil theft has recorded a big gain with the interception and destruction of 800,000 liters vessel laden with stolen crude oil. Chief Communications Officer of the Oil Grants, Gabardine Mohammed, said in a statement that the vessel, which was on its way to Cameroon, was apprehended with its captain and crew members on board. The statement reads, following the receipt of credible intelligence, a private security contractor engaged by NNPC Limited, Messias Tantita Security Services, intercepted a suspicious vessel with a cargo of crude oil on board on July 7th, 2023. What are we doing? But it's a good one. It's a good one for the NNPC to intercept that 800,000 liters. Do you know what that can do for Nigeria? And it is on its way to Cameroon. Good work to everyone involved in catching those oil thieves. Thank you so much for that, because this country needs people like that to grow. The news following that said Tinubu targets 30 trillion naira revenue in 3 years. Tinubu targets 30 trillion revenue in 3 years. Let us see how that goes. All eyes on security chiefs. Yes, all eyes on security chiefs. That's a good one. Obasanjo lashes lawmakers for fixing own pay. He says, why would lawmaker fix their own pay? It is illegal for lawmakers to fix their own pay. It is unheard of. Nobody has ever heard of it. So please, let us look into that. Ensure 50-50 gender balance in your cabinet. Soyinka Center tells Tinubu rather. Soyinka came up, yesterday and was saying that you should ensure 50-50. There's a balance, there's an equilibrium. Let there be 50 male and 50% female, 50% male and 50% female. Let it be balanced so that we don't do gender inequality. And I think that's a good one from Soyinka. And if you want to get more on that, just go to The Nation online or their physical outlet. Let us move on to channels. Channels now says FG to harmonize Federal Inland Revenue Service, Customs, other revenue collecting agencies. FG to harmonize FIRS, Customs, other revenue collecting agencies. Harmonize them. That's a good one. That's a big story there. Putin met with Wagner chief in Moscow after aborted mutiny. Putin met with Wagner chief in Moscow after aborted mutiny. How federal government will double annual revenue without increasing taxes, Tinubu's aide says. How federal government will double annual revenue without increasing taxes, says by Tinubu's aide. Tinubu returns to Nigeria after ECOWAS summit. Tinubu returns to Nigeria after ECOWAS summit. That's a good one. The news following all of those says sitting judges should not preside over election tribunals, says Afe Babalola. Sitting judges should not preside over election tribunals, says Afe Babalola. Adamu meets with APC state chairman in Abuja. If you want to read all of that, you could just go to Channels online outlet or their physical outlet anywhere close to you. The Sun, Nigeria. The big story there says Kalumons condoles with family. Kalumons condoles with family. Accept my condolences, sir. The news following that says Buhari's administration worst in corruption. That says Kuka. It was said in Vanguard also. Sitting judges should be excluded from election tribunals, said Afe Babalola. We saw that on Channels just now. It's unconstitutional for lawmakers to decide their salaries. Obasanjo, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, has come out to say that it is unlawful for lawmakers to decide their salaries. That's on Sun. Now let's also move on to Daily Trust. Daily Trust, the big story there says, the top story there says, ACF, JNI can condemn Plateau killings. Recall that there had been killings this past few days in Plateau. So ACF, JNI, and CAN has come out to condemn killings. Please, let us stop the killings. Let us stop the killings. It is very, 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 it is very bad. Let us stop the killings. One love. Let us stop the killings. And if government know who is in charge of all of this, should apprehend them, arrest them, let them face the law. Because you are rendering some people motherless, you are rendering some people fatherless, you are rendering some people homeless. Please, let us stop the killings. I pray it stops. Now, on insurgency, Zulum bans metal scavenging in Borno. Zulum, the governor of Borno State, Zulum, has banned metal scavenging in Borno. He has the best reason to do that. Why rice is expensive in a country producing it? Why rice is expensive? We are going to see all of those news in detail in the next hour. News following that say Kogi government vows to deal with criminals. Kogi government vows to deal with criminals. And all of that you can find on the Daily Trusts. That's the news headlines for this morning, 11th of July, 2023. Join us in the next hour for the details. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and watch the news. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Moses, and this is Prime Media Studio. Until I see you in the next hour, goodbye.